Good afternoon, St. Mary's. This is the final video that we have all been waiting for, or at least probably most of you have been waiting for this for years, for Tom to just stop talking. So we have almost arrived. I just wanted to make one last video, thanking everybody for taking time out of your day to learn about the faith. So this is my favorite. It's been a huge blessing being able to share what I've found, things that have helped me in my path towards God, and I hope that you found it helpful as well. So I didn't really have too much to say for the very last video, surprisingly. You think I'd be able to talk forever, but there is maybe a very last kind of conclusion to all this that I think is worth mentioning. So the last week we've been doing Totus Tuus. I've been working with the high school, middle school students, and I was asking some of the parishioners to really just pray for this last hoorah, my very last rodeo. And I have no idea why I haven't been doing this the entire time. I feel like there are so many opportunities wasted because I think prayer is real and it's very powerful. It's extremely powerful. All my efforts, everything I was trying, was not as effective. It didn't have the same impact as it does when I've been getting a group of people praying for me. And so this last week I'm doing with 6 parishioners here something called the Rosary Challenge, which is you do the full Rosary 4 times a day. And that's actually what Our Lady came originally when she gave the Rosary to St. Dominic. It was actually 15 decades. It wasn't 5. Okay, we've gotten weak since Our Lady appeared to St. Dominic, but it was actually the full 15. And then St. John Paul II actually added another 5, which is good because we can become holier than the saints, okay, who only had 3 to work with. Now we've got 4, which gives us an opportunity to be better. So anyways, I cannot tell you the insanity that I've experienced this week. I mean, the amount of blessings and graces poured into my own soul has been outstanding. I feel like an analogy is like I was running out of breath. I think at the beginning of anything new, you have a lot of excitement and zeal, and it kind of carries you for a little bit. But that doesn't help. I mean, you can't do that forever. But I think that Our Lady's been given me particularly a grace, especially on this last week, to just I feel like I'm running and I'm not getting tired. I feel like I'm just keeping going and keep on going and keep on going and going and going, and I don't feel an exhaustion. I feel like I have the strength to do things that I didn't have before. I wasn't virtuous enough to do certain things, and now I am. And it's just this simple practice of saying the full rosary every day. The big hang up, I think, that I had was, well, I can't do the full rosary. I'm doing a holy hour, I'm doing morning prayer, evening prayer, mass, and then on top of that, the rosary, the Divine Mercy Chapel is just too much. I can't add anything else. But I was like, for 1 week I can do it. And amazingly, I've had more time on my hands than I thought. Everything that I have to do just gets done quicker. And then I have extra time to pray. Our Lady has made it like a miracle in my life and the lives of thousands of people. I got this inspiration from 4 high school students that did this online, and they all had pretty dramatic lives. They were kind of doing drugs and were really just steeped in a life of sin. And then wham, they started seeing the full rosary, and they're just like, yeah, now I want to be a saint. How does that happen? There's no explanation for that other than the graces that we get from saying the full thing is amazing. And then when I'm doing my Totus Tuus groups, wow, these kids, first of all, the words are just there. Jesus says, do not worry about what you are to say. The Holy Spirit will be given to you in the moment, and wham. I mean, just every single night have been the best times, my best lessons, or my clearest talks have been given in these last 4 nights. And it's just been a profound gift that I want you to enjoy in your own way. There was a story about I think he was one of the top 10 richest people in the world. Just so happens to be Catholic. Had a question for a priest at one point. He asked, Father, how can we respond to all these messages that Our Lady give to us at Fatima, at Medjugorje, at Lourdes? Like, she's asking a lot of us. She's asking us to pray the full Rosary. She's asking us to go to Mass. She's asking us daily Mass. She's asking us to pray the Scriptures. She's asking us to fast on Wednesdays and Fridays. It's like, how can a businessman who's a family man, running this humongous corporation do this? And he basically said, well, hey, just give it a shot, see if you can do the full Rosary. And he said that not only was he able to do it, but he said that it actually cleared up. He had more time throughout his day. He said that Mary went in front of him and just kind of took care of all these little obstacles that were just being set up in front of him. And he just had time to read for the first time and do different things. So I'd like to encourage you. Everyone's got busy lives. Everyone's got no time to spare. But if we put this first, we'll notice that we do in fact have time. But then we'll also notice that it's worth it, right? If I could, guarantee that by doing a certain exercise every day, that it would increase your happiness by double. Everyone would find time, right? I think our faith has been weakened. I think we just need to go back to the saints. We have to go back to the way of the early church and practice what they taught. And there's not much. We're still human beings. They were human beings, and if we do what they do, I think the same impact is going to happen to us. So that's my last message. Actually, the super last message, I'm making another book. So there's one last book in the works, and it's on prayer. So it just talks about the different methods of prayer. I mentioned the Rosary is very small at the very end, and then just different ways to pray, different ways to hear God, like one-on-one in front of the Blessed Sacrament especially. So that's it. Yeah, thank you again for listening. I pray that you all desire to become saints. I'm going to ask the Holy Spirit to just jump into your hearts and then light a fire so that we can respond to Our Lady's request for the salvation of souls that are perishing. She says that souls are perishing like snowflakes is the amount that was taking place in 1917. And someone made the comment, yeah, it's worse today. I mean, there's so many people who are not following the Lord. And it's up to us to really just say the Rosary and to do the things that we can do and make the little sacrifices that we can make so that we can bring our families and ourselves and those we know and love with us to heaven. So I hope to be with you one day, and pray for me that I continue to the best of my ability. All right, I love you very much, and thank you for sticking around and watching me for 2 years. God bless you, and God bless.